Okay, so I overslept today. I missed a lot of you, and I apologize. Um, I really do want this to become a regular thing. So having a 2 week gap very shortly after starting is not good, but I'll try my best to be more on top of it in the future. Um, I guess as like compensation or something like that, I'm going to go over a couple things with Mollo that I've been thinking about recently. Just like a few sort of bits of tech and strategy that I want to talk about, and I don't know, honestly, maybe here's some thoughts on, because none of these are fully developed ideas yet. But just some things. Let's see. The main things I'm going to be talking about are can be bomb usage in neutral, which I'm sure will know I'm not good at myself. I don't think anyone really is yet. Um, but I want to try to start developing that, really. I'm going to be talking about a thing with recovery, a couple things with recovery, because I think that's important. Just establish what most best recovery mix-ups are, and probably about it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with recovery. Um, this should just be a general conversation, but I bring this up because of one thing I've been thinking about recently, which is to use Bazooka to refresh your wall jump. Let's say you are off stage here, right? You use your wall jump early. Now you have to refresh it, right? You can do that, and then you have your wall jump back. Probably you don't tech Firecracker 1, because unfortunately, even though the Bazooka sends it away from the wall, if you tech Firecracker 1 and don't use a jump or air dodge, you will be hit by Firecracker 4, which is the same issue that happens when you just up in the wall, right? Or, excuse me, right? So it means that using empty wall tech is not an option, which is what you're going to be wanting to do there, because that's you don't want to use your jumps or whatever. You just want to get your wall jump back. So for that, I was just checking, just like inputting tech sort of after Firecracker 1. Let me show my inputs. After Firecracker 1, but before like Firecracker 3. So not like that. Do this again. There. So I'd usually tech Firecracker 3, because Firecracker 2 pulls you away from the wall, and Firecracker 3 sends you back in. Same thing goes for Uppy, by the way. You can't really tech Firecracker 2 that easily. You're usually going to be teching Firecracker 3. It avoids the extra 2% from Firecracker 4 and lets you, act faster. But it does mean that you get a good timing mix-up, and importantly, you also avoid, like, this situation where that happens to you, right? You can imagine, like, that, maybe a bit of a higher percent, that becomes, like, significantly more of a problem, right? Someone can combo you out of this and kill you. Yeah. But, like, a big problem is, like, if you, like, obviously Mollo can't refresh his ball jumps infinitely, right? But the problem is, you see, like, I'm going quite high up here, to do that. Even though I'm falling all the way back down into, like, the blast zone. Like, the point I have to do tech Firecracker 3, like, kind of puts me above the ledge, even. So people can really punish that empty wall tech, and it's actually quite dangerous. So in order to remedy that, I kind of wanted to try doing Bazooka. I think you have to hold block mod if you're on keyboard like me, or just like find a way to do Bazooka without fast falling, I think, for it to be really effective without having to spend a resource. But I think that's like a much safer way to set it up, and that's probably the best usage of Bazooka that we have, to be honest, and certainly as a recovery tool, I think it's like the only thing that isn't super niche. So yeah. Big thing with Bazooka, of course, is you can't just be flush with the wall. If you're flush with the wall, then the bomb doesn't actually get set forward, because you have to be drifting forward to do Bazooka. So you have to be like a little bit away from the wall, and then you can do it. Like, I think the best way to do it is to just fall like with no drift and then drift forward at the last second, you know? Fuck. Okay, I've looked suck at this, that's okay. Yeah, if you're far away from the wall like that, you can do it a little farther out. But you can't do it too far out. You would need to be able to control your drift. But the Firecracker will hit you from getting far away, so yeah. In general, though, I do want to go over, like, some Mollo recovery stuff. Just, like, what I think Mollo's good options are, and, like, maybe I'll prove them wrong later. Obviously, like, this Bazooka thing I haven't been doing Like there's a lot of space for optimization and development here. But I really want to talk about a few things with regard to your main mix-ups, your best mix-ups, and like where and how to use it, or how to use them. So first of all, the tech you're probably familiar with to recover. A lot of models will just spam the shit out of this sledge dash, right? Wall tech, bomb, and waveland on the stage. Oftentimes, people will also always tech the first one. You have the nice thing about Firecracker is you can wait, right? Firecracker has hit lockout, so while you're getting hit by Firecracker, people kind of just can't hit you. It's like very difficult, and of course you can also wall tech if they do hit you. Right, like you get hit by Firecracker 1, and then you buffer tech right away after the Firecracker 1. Right, like during the hitbox of Firecracker 2. And that lets you tech Firecracker 3, right? Or you can just tech Firecracker 1. Another thing to note about Ledge Dash is it's not going to give you much invincibility if you do it low. Doing it low is safer because people can't tech trap you with like their aerials and such. They can't force a wall tech on their terms that way. But it does mean that you aren't as protected. You're definitely not going to get an invincible reversal on the stage, right? Where's... Let me show the boxes. Right, you can see, like, I have this invincible up tilt, right? That's great. But I had to wall tech, like, really high. And you can see if I do wall tech, like, kind of lower here, like, it's not even close. I don't think I even get invincibility on the air dodge. Right. There we go. And the higher you go, the more susceptible you're going to be to tech trapping. Now, doing this sort of option, where you go really low to set up the wall tech, is not bad. Like, especially if you do this, like, it does let you get out tech trapping, it gives you more mix-ups. Like, if someone's, like, Zeteran fairing or Clarendering at the ledge, you kind of have to do that if you want to go for a ledge dash option. But it's important to know what options you have for the wall tech. Because what you can really do is you can tech off Firecracker 1, right? You can tech off Firecracker 3. You can not tech at all, which is actually pretty decent at high percents, because then you can just not be on the stage high, right? If you think about it, if I'm at like 80 or so, Firecracker doesn't have that much knockback, so it works for quite a while. You can imagine you can do this. You can even wall tech the first one, and then you can go high. And that's nice. A lot of people aren't ready for that, especially if you DI out. Or whoops. Right, you can see like I'm pretty far away from the ledge there, and I set up like ledge transfer off the end of the stage. Other option you have out of wall tech is tech jump back air, which is to do an invincible back air by canceling the wall tech with just double jump. Again, like if you do it out of Firecracker 1, you're gonna get hit, which can sometimes be good because it means you can do this. You put out the back air, and then if it whiffs, you still get the protection of the Firecracker 4. But if you do have Firecracker 3, it's like safe. And that's like pretty good. It's almost like really crowding at the ledge. But the problem is with ledge dash is that if they know it's happening, it's very, very easy to punish. You know, you can only do the ledge dash at one timing because you have to do the full uppie. You can't shorten the uppie and get ledge dash. It just doesn't prime the bomb. And it's very difficult to set up for a prime bomb off stage yourself unless you like get hit or something. And the other thing is that, you know, you have to spend the hit pause and then like 4 frames of the tech to do the spread up, which is like, you know, it's pretty slow. And one thing a lot of people don't realize about ledge dash is that in order to ledge dash, you need to waveland on a stage, right? So to demonstrate this, let me just like right off stage here. Right, I'm off stage. I'm gonna go air dodge onto the stage, right, which is what ledge dash is. Boom. Now for the next, let me check Academy. For the next waveland, mollo. Waveland time 9 frames. Mollo has like the second highest waveland time in the game. The next 9 frames, I cannot do anything except, like, I cannot do dash attack. I cannot do dash. I cannot crouch. I cannot roll. I cannot parry. All I can do are like strongs, tilts, specials, and I can jump. Right? I can't turn around. Like you can see, I'm pulling away here. Fuck! I didn't mean to. Fuck. Okay, let me try that again. Right, you can see if I hold away here, nothing happens until after. Right, let me just create a safe state here. Right, you can see that if I try to jump, I can jump, but it does still have jump spot, right? And if I try to parry, nothing happens, right? It buffers the parry out of the waveland later. So there is a 9-frame period where you cannot parry, you cannot start a roll, which is even slower. You cannot even crouch, like if you want to CC a projectile. Can't do it. And basically, no matter what, you are never getting 9 frames worth of on-stage invincibility from ledge dash. It is basically impossible. And you are certainly not getting the 11 necessary to actually cover the startup of your parry or roll or whatever. Parry is your fastest option. That's defensive. That like gives you a sort of invincibility, and it's too slow. So there will always be a window for ledge dash where people can hit you, and you can't do anything about it if they know the timing. You can't even turn around. The best thing you can do is like jump, or you try to mix your ledge dash timing so that they do it wrong. But the thing is, the way the tech invincibility works, like if they see you tech, they are going to have. Let me check how this works. They see tech, they are going to. You are going to have 15 frames of invincibility, right? And you are cancelable. It is cancelable on frame 4. So they're going to see that happen. They're going to see the wall tech, and that means you have maybe 3 frames of vulnerable period where they are not going to be able to react, right? And that is more than enough time for them to be able to react afterwards, right? So doing a ledge rush option is kind of reactable. Like unless you hit them with the reversal, or they overcommit and they try to read a timing that they're wrong about, then ledge dash is just not safe. Sigmas for tech jump back are even more so. The nice thing about ledge dash is it guarantees you get your resources back, which is great for a character with 3 jumps, right? Most characters only get 1 jump and 1 air dodge. Mollo gets 2 jumps back from this. And you only need your air dodge to set it up in theory. That's a great part of ledge dash, and it's pretty much guaranteed because the invincibility will at least cover the startup of your air dodge to get back onto the stage. Even if they hit you like frame 1 of you landing on the stage, you get your resources. So that's good. But the real problem is just that if you're very predictable about it, they will just do that every time. And that's not even going to be difficult like normal tech trapping is, because they don't have to commit to a move to set up the wall tech. They can just sit there and wait and be in whatever position they want while you're setting up the ledge dash and then punish you. On top of that, if they know you're going to do it, they can also run up and parry the bomb, and they're also invincible for way longer than you are. So you're basically guaranteed to lose that interaction too. Because they also get a projectile type parry on the firecracker, which means they're actionable faster on the parry than they would be normally. So yeah, ledge dash kind of a limited tool. It's obviously like super well known, and it's very easy to abuse because a lot of people aren't going to know how to deal with it. But once they do, you will not recover. So you need to learn some more mix-ups. I'll talk about low recovery mix-ups first, and then high recovery mix-ups. So low recoveries, there is ledge dash. You can do ledge dash, you can do tech jump back air. Mixing up where you do ledge dash is also good. Like you can do ledge dash super low, as well, and that can make it a little bit better. Right? You're not going to get anything invincible, but you stay out of their threat range while you're setting it up, right? Which is pretty big, because a lot of characters, the way they deal with ledge dash, which is proactively, is to hit you with a big, safe move while you're on the wall, right? That could be like Clarion down air, Sylvanas forward air, could be Zetterburn forward air, anything like that. And those are really annoying to deal with. So you sometimes have to set the ledge dash below them, and then you can whip punish the aerial when you do tech jump back air afterwards. But that they still do get the opportunity to recognize that where you do the up B spacing, you are going to get that low ledge dash, or that low wall tech rather than like if you do it higher up, right? If I do that's way too high. If I do it like here, they're going to know, if they know how long wall up B is, that it's going to happen. Whereas if I do it here, they know I'm going to have to go low, right? And they can play around that. So it is a bit limited in that way. That's why I think basically anytime you up B to the ledge, you want to have your wall jump, because you want to be able to do stuff like this, right? This is a pretty good timing mix-up. It is considerably faster than doing the wall tech ledge dash, because you don't have to go through hit pause, you don't have to go through the wall tech startup, right? You can also do this, right? And that lets you delay the wall jump even more by, you can see I'm doing C-stick away from the wall to throw the bomb away while keeping myself close to the wall. And I'm going to press tech there in case they hit me. right? You can also shorten the up B this way. Like, if you're... This is a great thing. Like, you can feign a high recovery by sort of, like, doing up B here, right? If you do up B here, you could do this, right? You could even... let's go. You could even do this, right? You could do this. Could do this. Could do this. If I can space it correctly, right? You can throw it down, you can throw it on flat. But you can also do this, right? You can drift full towards the wall, or you can even just like shorten it and then do that, right? And then you get your wall jump mix-up. And your wall jump mix-up is generally be a few things. If you have no bomb, basically your wall jump mix-up is jump back air, or like jump ledge dash, right? But the nice thing is you can delay when you do the wall jump, you can even delay when you do the double jump. Now, after a certain amount of time, right, if you delay the wall jump enough, if you delay the double jump enough, they're going to know that you only have one timing left that will work. They can predict that and react to that and punish you every time. So it can be a gamble to wait, but you do get like that mix up, and it can be pretty hard, because most options do not cover the ledge for a very long time. And if they throw out an option that you know you can't beat, here's the nice thing about mollo is you can just go low, pull a bomb, and then do down B or up B again to get your wall jump back, and no other character can really do that. So you can just go back and stall and wait for better opportunity and take like 3% for it. And be pretty safe about it. If you have a bomb, this is really good. You can do this, right? You can do wall jump F throw if you're over here, or you can even do like low wall jump F throw. Now this can get parried if they're reading the timing, and if they're like here or farther away, they can reaction parry the bomb. But if they actually parry the bomb, it's kind of not a big deal, because as long as you stay like kind of below the ledge when you do it, so if you do it like, you know, like with the spacing, right, the bomb's going to hit the ground instead of you, because it's going to be reflected straight towards you, so it's not going to actually hit you. It's going to hit the stage, and it's going to blow up on the stage. They're going to be invincible, but they also have to go through the parry animation, and you can react to that and just go low and refresh your wall jump and roll the dice again. And if they're at all over aggressive trying to get to the ledge, or even if, especially if they're in the air, you can do upward angled forward throw. And you see, like, this hits the platform, right? If I do it like this. So it can cover a lot of space for you. And it's like the bonk is generally enough time, as long as you're actionable afterwards, to like get yourself back on the stage, right? Wall jump forward throw is even an option with no resources. You can do this, and that is like a real mix-up as compared to like this, for example, or like as compared to like just doing like the wall jump up B, right? So wall jump forward throw, very good. And that is, again, something where you can sort of mix up the spacing, because you can do a double jump and do it first. Okay, a couple other things on low recovery. I already talked about bazooka, but one thing you can potentially do is if you stall, you can do a PK boost, and that will also let you set up for a high recovery. You can up throw the bomb away from the ball and then up the into it. That's pretty good, because it's very hard to contest. But you do need to spend a double jump to get the bomb to a prime state, unless it already has like a timer going on it by the time you got off stage. So right, if you have the bomb and then you get hit off stage, you can just do this, right? It doesn't take any resources. But otherwise, if you're pulling the bomb off stage, you need to use a jump, or you will not be able to have time to do it. As far as I know, I haven't found a way to do it without using at least one resource. I think either double jump will work. Having the second lower double jump will not matter, although I think if you're using your last double jump on this, you are probably making the wrong decision. Okay, that's kind of it for low recovery. Now I'm going to talk about high recovery. Although I guess I should mention, like, this is sort of in the middle. When I say low recovery, I mean recoveries that happen below the ledge. When I say high recoveries, I mean recoveries that happen above the ledge. So for a high recovery, I guess you would call this a high recovery. It's kind of pretty low, because you can do this spacing, right? This is a great option, because if they sliding parry this bomb, fuck, it's kind of hard to space. But if they sliding parry this bomb, right, if they sliding parry that, then you are going to be in hit stun, and that means you do not get parry stun for it, like the other times if they sliding parry the bomb. Of course, that happens is they hit you off stage again, right? You cannot get parry stunned and like get charge stronged, and most of the time what's going to happen is they're probably just going to parry the firecracker at you, or hit you with like some weak long range move that can poke through the explosions, like the wall of explosions you're putting for yourself. I think this is a super strong option, especially with no resources, because you do not need any resources to set it up. And you can also DI if you're, especially at high percents, because the early firecracker hits have scaling, you can DI to change where you end up. It's very tricky to deal with. So that's a good option. Here's another thing you can do with high recoveries that a lot of people don't realize. I didn't even realize this for a while until Abra brought it up. You can see if I have a bomb, my jump for up B kind of gets like killed, right? I don't go much of anywhere. But if I don't have a bomb, I get a lot of drift, right? This is great because it lets you sort of overshoot people, right? You can up B high and you end up very high on the stage, right? If you do like up B wall jump like this, like you go very far. You don't get the protection of a bomb, but you can also set up for something like a ledge cancel, and that is very strong. Because the high drift means that it's actually not that hard to set up for mollo, and you have the other access to shorten to do that as well. I should talk about shorten. This is another low recovery thing I forgot. Shorten is good. You can do this, right? This like lets you access the timing mix, where if they think you're gonna do the full up B, right, they might try to move. So you can shorten it, wait a bit, like if you throw it away from the wall like this, and then punish them. And you also have the option to do down throw, right, which is sort of like a jump scare option. If you space it really well, you can just land on stage with it, and it's kind of hard to react to, but still easy to react to. But like, especially you can do this, right? Like this lets you get up the wall way faster, and that can really surprise people if they're not ready for it. But the problem is because in order to input the shorten, you have to press air dodge. You are going to be in tech lockout for most of this. Like, if someone hits me here with like another room forward air, I am dead. I am so fucking dying. Like, this puts you in a very vulnerable position for quite a while, so you really need to like be able to bet on it. But yeah, down throw shorten is worth mentioning. It's pretty strong. It's like a good option to throw in once in a while. I don't think it's very useful overall, but it can catch people really off guard, and it's a way to set up to like mix up the timing of your setup for your recovery. Okay. Anyway, talking about short and high. Short and high also lets you sort of do like custom ledge cancels, right? You like obviously doing the max length ledge cancel, you only really have one position you can do it from, so it's kind of telegraphed. But if you do up B here, you can get the ledge cancel too, right? As long as you shorten it. You can even get shortens with bombs as well. It's just like a little harder, or ledge cancels with bombs as well. When it comes to throwing the bomb, bomb here is like okay, but it's kind of predictable, right? And you want to do it from pretty low, which is also going to mean that you're pretty vulnerable to what they're doing, right? Because if you do it from high, they can wait out the bomb and then run it and punish you. They don't even have to parry it. But if they are good, they will parry it, and that's the problem. Because they're going to sliding parry the explosion, and it's going to be on reaction since Firecracker's multi-hit, right? They can wait for the later explosion to parry it. And then they are going to put you in a million years of parry stun and kill you. You're going to get back on stage probably, and get your resources refreshed, but most characters, if they're like piloted by a good player, will hit you with like a move that you have to DI out of or something, and it's going to put you in a terrible position off stage afterwards, because they can hit you with whatever they want, right? Or they can just straight up kill you at pretty early percents because they can like charge a strong attack. So this is like okay, but it's pretty risky. The nice thing is it does like cover these side plats you can see. So if someone is like up here, especially, but also even just up here, like if they're trying to be aggressive, they might get punished for this. You can also mix up the angle, right? If you do like it's easier on controller because controller has 365 degrees. For keyboard, I only have 5. And doing down throw is also kind of not an option because if I'm doing like this, right, I am so getting punished. That thing where you hit yourself at the end is like kind of the only safe way to use down throw on stage. Otherwise, you're just like they're hitting you, you know. By the time you land, because you're just gonna go so much farther up, and you're not gonna have any momentum to like drift to a platform or something. You can also angle the bomb away. If you're like really close to the ledge, this is like a decent option if they're sort of auto-piloting the parry or something like that. Well, the problem is, of course, this leaves you completely vulnerable. So I think going high is generally a better idea. Good setups are the one where you hit yourself, and especially if you do that on a platform. Like if I do this here, it is like so hard to punish me, and even if you do punish me, you're hitting me from like center stage here, right? You're not gonna hit me like, you know, out here or whatever. So you are gonna have a much harder time putting me in a bad edge guard. And then the other thing you do is you can also not get hit. You can just throw the bomb on the plat, and this can be pretty hard to deal with too because they can't contest the plat from below because the bomb is there, and plats are a pretty decent position, etc. You get the idea. And then beyond that, there's also this, right? You can do the ledge cancel. The ledge cancel, I think, is like a really good option that is not used as much as it should be yet. And I'm working on that, but you know, it's tough. C-stick angling helps a lot with this. Shortens help a lot with mixing things up. Like you can also do like, you know, you can fake people out. You go for ledge cancel? No, I'm gonna actually, like you think I'm going for ledge cancel? No, I'm actually gonna just strip back and fastball on the stage, right? Or something like that. You can even do ledge cancel here if you are not terrible at the game. There you go. No, not actually. There you go. Fuck. Okay, I can't. I look, you can't do it, but it's okay. Yeah, something like that. That's not that good, but you can do it. Like you have a lot of ways to mix people up by going high, I think, and that's not something a lot of people use because they kind of autopilot to low recoveries. But I do think Mollo has like more mix-ups on high recoveries. They're just a little easier to react to. Definitely stuff like wall jump forward throw or like shorten double jump, like back air, double jump waveland shouldn't be undervalued. But I think in general, like I see Mollos recover low like 80% of the time. I think it should be more like 60% of the time, maybe. Um, Especially if you don't have resources, low recoveries are kind of worthless. And a lot of your high recovery mix-ups like shorten and bomb angles and doing the thing where you fucking like ledge cancel or like doing the hit yourself tech is completely free. Okay, yeah, that's kind of all I want to talk about with null recovery. Oh yeah, also getting to the wall. You can do empty uppy to the wall. This is like a big thing. Bombless uppy to the wall also lets you keep momentum without going high. Like if you're worried about someone going out here and threatening you, you can, because that is a big problem from all. You have no way to protect yourself from above. You can, um, whoops. um, you can just do like that, right, and then refresh your wall jump maybe with down B. But like this lets you get to the wall way faster than if you have a bomb in your hand, because, and it doesn't mean that you have to go high, like you would if you got a bomb, right? If you have a bomb, you kind of have to do this because if you shorten the up B, right, you are much slower. Like you imagine if I'm out here, right? I can't really do that the same way that I can do this. Then the other thing you have is side B. Side B lets you fastball. You can just sort of drift during it. So you can imagine that, like, that's pretty good and it gives you a little boost. But it still offers no protection. And you can also up throw. If you want to spend a resource, you can use it for like an up throw. Ideally not facing that way. You can use it for like an up throw, and that will like give you a bit of protection. You have to. I think it's good to like angle the up throw away from the stage. I don't think up throwing it onto the stage is ever good because they will just parry it. But up throwing it so like, fuck. Up throwing it so like they do. It's like that sort of range. Like that's actually not safe. I shouldn't have done that, but. Fuck. Throwing like here, not really, it's like neutral angle. It's like pretty safe, right? It gives you a bit of protection if they want to go down and hit you, but it does cost a resource, so it's pretty committal because it doesn't provide any like it doesn't always provide value, and resources are valuable. So yeah, be careful about that. Kind of all I want to talk about recovery. So like big things to look out for are you want to do this, like doing this setup lets you threaten ledge dodge, but also lets you threaten stuff like this, right? Threaten stuff like this, threaten stuff, you know, like this. All really good options, and then yeah, high recoveries are good. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Down throw gives you a fair bit of height when you use it. So that can be like okay, like you can do like that. If you're pretty low, like honestly really low, and that's like a sort of unconventional way to get off the stage. But it's only really good if you're pretty safe, like if they're not actively threatening you. But yeah, high recoveries, you can go for ledge cancels, using empty up lets you store momentum. You can hit yourself with a bomb to avoid getting parry stun. Throwing bombs from the flats is pretty good. Mixing up, throwing the bomb behind you is pretty good. Using shortens is very important. Shortening the uppy with the parry button. Okay, now I want to talk about bombs and neutral. So it is still underdeveloped tech, but there are a few things I want to talk about. First one is pulling bombs in a way that doesn't slow you down. I talked about this a bit before, but there's a few ways to do this. Like pulling a bomb on the ground like this is like you're stuck there. It's like they're not gonna like be able to react and whip punish you, but it is a good way to stick to your position, and that it means you are likely to get hit by something because that's where they're gonna be swinging for, right? High likelihood of it if they decide to swing at that timing. So you want to be able to do bomb pulls with some ambiguity. One way to do it is like short hopping. you short out bomb pole, you and buffer a waveland out of it. You can de-drop the bomb, and that also means you avoid the threat of a backfire, but you can still, if you hold this position, you can still like do bomb dash attack. You can still like jab the bomb or up tilt it, right? And those give you more coverage options, like you can also down tilt, right? That kit's probably good. Dash attack is the main one you want to do. Bomb dash attack, for those who don't know, super good button. The second hit is reaction parryable, which is the main downside. So if they're not spaced to get hit by the first hit or the bomb later, and they can run up and sliding parry you, it is pretty bad. But it covers a lot of space. Like even just from this position, I'm covering the whole ledge. Like even from here, pretty much, it is huge. And that is ignoring the bomb throw afterwards. If you have the bomb throw, you can angle it up to hit people on flats. You also angle it up generally to just avoid people parrying it on the ground. And if they go for the parry, like, they're unsafe, right? They can't whip punish it. Even then, if they run in, right? The bomb has this hitbox for, like, this is going to cover the ground for a lot of time. I should, yeah. Do this up angle. You can see the bomb starts here, and, like, it's still covering the ground for a decent bit, so that makes the move a lot safer, and it doesn't have a ton of end lag elevating. But you can also throw the bomb under a plat like this, right? And that means if they plat drop, then they're going to get punished, which is really good, because if they're on a plat, that means bomb dash check is kind of completely safe if you do it from decently far away, which is like your only real long-range neutral option that is like going to immediately put pressure on them. And then if they're on the ground, you can angle it up, and then you can't get parried for it. Although if they're always trying to go for, if they're never trying to parry it, you can also angle it down to call them out. It's really not reactable, but it's way riskier to angle it down than angle it up. So I'd recommend doing angle up most of the time. If you hit them with bomb dash attack, then you get to combo into the bomb, which can, a lot of time, like, you have flashbang or something. This is just like a kill confirm, right? Or it's like kind of DI dependent, but like, you know, you can just get up strong out of that, you can get down strong. It kind of depends on your spacing, it kind of depends on their DI, but with no SSR on prime bombs, it's way more consistent when you have them. You can also, if they DI out, right, I should set CPU DI. I'll say DI out. If they DI out, you can also, what? That was not DI out. Yeah, you can also angle the bomb down to catch them, or like, this sort of automatically covers, even without a prime bomb, it automatically covers like tech in place and no tech, which is really nice. That's not DI out, but yeah, that means you can sort of like just do this and cover the tech roll. You can't really cover tech roll away, but you know, you get a lot of station roll that way. So yeah, bomb tech check, great on hit, covers a ton of space, you can throw the bomb to threatened platforms, right? And you throw the bomb up to avoid getting parried, so that's good. So I mean, bomb dash check is like pretty it's not that hard to use. The main thing is finding a bomb to pull or finding a bomb on the ground to pick it up. And I think that's also like a pretty undervalued aspect of bomb dash check because it covers so much space, right? The bomb can be pretty far away from where your opponent is, and it will still like realistically threaten them, right? They didn't just put a bomb down and like, oh, if they go to the splat, hey, I have this option now, right? Or this option, really, because you don't want them to parry it on the plat either. Although it's not bad if they parry it on the plat, because if they do parry it on the plat and they're like here, it's going to get reflected into the platform and it's not going to hit you anyway. So you just got to deal with the invisibility from already a pretty safe position. That's great. But other aspects of bombs in neutral are pretty difficult and not super developed. There are a couple techniques I want to talk about that are pretty solid. First of all, another way to pull bombs while moving is to do it off of plat drop. You can do plat drop bomb pull like this. And if you time it well, you can see I get a pretty big speed boost out of this too. This is a special boost. Some people call it a variation on the glide slide. But it's a much more lenient window than glide slide, although it's still kind of difficult. You see I'm hitting it most of the time. Like kind of without even trying to, and that's really good. It's not necessarily what you want with neutral, right? If you want to approach tentatively, like rocketing across the stage, it's not great. Well, you saw me do it earlier. You get the idea. Oh, accept this. Add the special boost. Whatever. Right? But it's pretty good for extensions. But you can also just flat drop on pull like this, and it's kind of hard to do off flat drop. It might even be impossible off flat drop, actually. But if you do run off, then you can double jump out of it, just barely off of stand tight flats. But you have to kind of bomb pull really well to do that. But even then, like, just doing like flat drop bomb pull straight back is pretty safe. Right? You can imagine, like, doing this, right? Or even just, like, doing this, right? And that lets you keep a bit of ambiguity. It lets you... You're already going to, right, be spending time, empty time, going off the platform, so you can just spend it on a bomb pull, and you don't have to commit that many extra frames by doing that. So that's good. The other thing I sort of discussed this earlier, if you want to go to a main plat, obviously it's pretty easy to do this, right? Is you full hop and then double jump bomb pull, or full hop bomb pull, double jump waveland. But you can do that for low plats too, you just have to short hop, and this is the most, like, this commits the least frames to pull a bomb while you're going flat. But, like, less than doing this, but less than doing this. Although this, or sorry, less than doing this, right? Or you just land on the plat. You can also do full hop waveland, and that is going to drop the bomb on the plat, but that's not always what you want. A lot of times you want to keep the bomb in your hand, because having a bomb on the plat is not nearly as good as having it on the ground for neutral. Although it's still pretty good in some situations, because, you know, you can do this, or you can do this, or like, so I can do that. You spike the bomb, then you have it on the ground. But you can do short hop, double jump, waveland, and this is actually pretty fast. And the short hop lets you, or the double jump lets you sort of change your position a bit too, if you want. So that's really good. Now I'm going to talk about using the bombs. Aside from dash attack, the main way you're going to use a bomb in neutral is up throw. Up throw is really good. The frame data on Academy is currently wrong. Up throw is actually really fast. It's fast for the physical hitbox. You can see it is frame, yeah, like 9 or 10. Let me check again. Yeah, frame 10. But the bomb is active on frame 14, right? But still, like, you can see by the time it gets to this top plat, this is still like frame 20, right? You consider 18 frames to be reactable offline, then it's like parryable frame 21. So this is threatening a lot before it gets parried. But they could parry it on this platform, right? If you angle it like a certain way, if you like space it a certain way, it's like kind of possible for them to do it. Like mainly with outward angle. Using C-stick, if you didn't know, is inverted. So you can see if I hold C-stick left, it's always going to throw the bomb outwards no matter which way I'm facing. Which, like, sucks, and that's not how it's supposed to work. But you can still use it. Like, just holding C-stick left to do an outward angle bomb throw is, like, a good thing to learn, I think. Because outward angle is, like, generally the best thing. You can see it, like, covers the top plat, and it covers, like, the side plat also. And you can approach behind it still. And it's in the opposite, like, you can do C-stick right to always throw behind you. Same thing goes for down throw. Always do this. To angle it behind you, which is great. Or, you know, angle it behind you. Anyway, up throw, the big problem with up throw is that you have this period. So you throw the bomb, right? That's great. And you are technically actionable on, like, that frame, right? You're actionable here on frame 25 or something. Yeah, frame 25, which is pretty fast. 25 frames is not a lot of commitment by comparison. Like, down tilt has, like, let me check. If it's on whiff, it is a, like, it's 31 on hit, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So, yeah, it's like, yeah, you're actionable, like, on frame 37 when it comes to down tilt. So this is, like, even safer than that, and it covers the space above you. But the problem is you're in the air. So that's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames of falling, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 frames of landing lag, and your actual frame 35, which is, you know, 10 frames slower. That's pretty significant. So there's a few ways to stop this. First of all, double jump out of it. That's pretty good. Because the double jump is frame 1, and it means if you can go to flat, right? And the second way is for you to land as you're doing the upwards boost, right? You time it so that you land as it happens, right? So you can see if I do this here, right? I'm on the ground, and I'm going to get boosted up. And that's bad, because I still have to go through this period, right? You can waveland or fastball to make it faster, but it's still going to be like a latent period of at least a few frames. If you time it so it's like this, right? You can see I do the thing in the air, and I'm sort of actual by the time I get to the ground, right? The other thing is, if you interrupt the end lag, you can also, it like auto cancels. If you interrupt the end lag of this move, if you land during it, but after the jump happens, then you will just auto cancel it. You will not get anything, in terms of like your commitment. So you can just kind of, you can see the jump happens on, yeah. So you saw how fast that was, right? Like, actual frame 23, this is landing lag. Yeah, your actual frame 27, which is ridiculously fast. Like rounded actual frame 27. But this, so if you time this auto cancel, like it's very hard to punish up throw. And you can just like sort of walk away. But it is very difficult, it's a problem. And you can also do this off of flat drop or run off. And those are, I think, really strong. Like doing this to get to flat, or you can even do like this. Fucked it up. You can even do like this, right? To go back to flat. It's also fine. But you can also just do this. Fuck. I had so much confidence in myself. You can do this, right? And this is also great. You don't necessarily want to drift that far forward. You probably want to drift back. But doing a auto cancel off the runoff, which is the easier one, or even flat drop, which is the way harder one. Although I did just do it then. Like you're gonna see, I'm not gonna be able to do it most of the time, at least on tilt stick. Is really good. So yeah, most of the time I think you're gonna want to angle up the up throw outwards to cover, like, because you want to cover airspace with it, right? That's the point of it. Is you want to, like, you can cover this if they're on top flat. If they go to top flat, they can't go to top flat. You can do this to like cover their flat drop. They're on side flats. You can do this to like cover the side flats they decide to go there later. And then if you approach behind that, then it cuts off a lot of their options for a little bit, right? They can do like, imagine you can do like this, right? Something like that, or just like, you know, especially if they're on a flat, like doing this, sort of, right? They can't parry this, right? They don't have a way to parry this option. So if you have a way to like, oh, if they're gonna try to approach you with the top flat, you can just put a bomb down, and hey, you have like dash attack or whatever once it lands too. You can go to flat and like jab it, whatever, right? It's not very developed, but up throw, Stoggin up throw, learn auto cancel up throw timings. It's good. Maybe learn C stick angling too. All right, that's all. Goodbye.